and we have this whole spoof of like The Exorcist. His head's like backwards. And
piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
yeah. And then you have this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode on our 31 Days of Halloween here on the channel. We are super excited to be on, what day is this? Oh my God, day 11 or... Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah. Yep. Day 11. They start to blend together, I tell you. Yeah. Day 11, we have Casper, which is really awesome because I didn't even realize this putting on this list. It is Casper's 30th anniversary this year. Really cool to see that. And I'm excited to talk about this movie because Anthony's never seen this movie. So this was a first time watch for him. And this was a fantastic rewatch for me. I watched this with both of my kids, and they both really, really loved it. So it's really cool to see. What'd you think, Anthony?
This movie was great. I had an excellent time watching this movie. This is a great family movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of great actors in it. You know, Bill Pullman, Christina Ricci, all the others. there's a lot of great actors, a lot of little cameo appearances. There's a Mr. Rogers like little TV appearance.
Yeah, there's some cameos in there. One being Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
So yeah,
who you gonna call? Somebody else. Oh, so yeah, Casper is really a lot of fun, and this is definitely a movie that I watch pretty much every year around this time. So let's dive into it. If you haven't seen Casper, here's your spoiler alert. Casper is about a ghost of a kid who passed away, and he has 3 uncles who are also haunting the mansion, and a family moves in after Bill Pullman's wife passes away, and they're trying to start over in a new location. The dad, what does he do for a profession?
He's like a psychic
Yeah,
at the
isn't he?
moment.
Yeah,
They're like him and his daughter are traveling from town to town, and he's just he's doing paranormal research is what he's doing.
Yeah, and I think it's like almost like a trick to try and like it's like fooling people, but then it's actually like real at the same time because he's deeply trying to like reconnect with his wife in the afterlife. So
that's primarily, I think, why he's doing it. And there's a good scene of him and his daughter talking about, it's like, when are we going to actually settle down and not do this anymore?
Yeah. And then so you have this like, you know, a little bit of trauma tossed in this really fun story of Casper, who is like an early teenage ghost, and he doesn't have any real interaction with anybody. So he's trying to make friends because the only people that he can really connect with are his uncles, and his uncles are kind of assholes. So, and they're not even, I believe in Casper lore, I don't think they're technically his uncles either. I think they're just random.
Yeah, Casper's an old IP. I remember I used to have, when I was a kid growing up, I had a viewfinder with Casper, and I would click it and stuff. So it's an old IP.
There's a lot of old, I think they were old like cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. And so what happens is that Casper finally makes a friend being Cat, and he kind of just gets to experience being a kid, per se, as a ghost though. And finally having somebody to interact with. He gets so excited that people can actually see him and not run from him, that he's like doing everything in his power to like get them to stay, so that he's not alone. But it's also funny because at the same time you have his uncles trying to scare them away or just be dicks to them. So like the kitchen scene is always one of my favorite scenes. When Casper's making all the breakfast for everybody, and it comes out looking great, and then Fatso, Stretch, and Stinky all come in to eat as well, and they're just gobbling food down. You see it like going down them, like
yeah, kind of. I got a whole Slimer vibe from Ghostbusters, and he just feeds them junk food too. He's like, okay, he brings it out, and they all just start eating it. So that was kind of like, that was cool.
They go down, it goes down and drops on the floor, and like Bill Pullman, you even see him like peek under the table, like. Which this is a great role for Bill Pullman also, by the way. Like there's a lot of heart in his character. And even towards the end, the final act of this movie, when he finally gets turned in, he gets turned into a ghost, and because of Kerrigan and Dibs, he then hangs out with the boys with the uncles, and they kind of like turn him into a butthead too. Because he's like, oh, I know what one of those are, and he like pulls her finger. Remember that?
Yeah. And there's, I guess there's theory, at least in this movie, is when you're a ghost, you start forgetting your actual life.
Yeah.
And you're processing, transitioning into the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly. So he was easily swayed into being that way because of the uncles. And then you also get a really emotional scene when he is being like reminded of who he is again by Kat, and she's like, you're my dad, like, and he like all remembers everything, and it's sad, and then they put him back into the machine that turns him back to human,
which Casper ultimately sacrifices his we get a little backstory in this movie's really well paced, like the whole time.
Oh yeah.
You're not lost at all. So the little bit of story behind Casper's, his dad was an inventor, and he invented this machine to resurrect people. And there was, I don't know if it was ectoplasm that he had in that little vial, but he ultimately makes that sacrifice to resurrect Dr. Harvey, because
instead of himself,
because he doesn't want Kat to be alone like him. Like, ideally it's the same scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really emotional. And then ultimately Kerrigan becomes a ghost, and
there's this whole side plot with Kerrigan and Dibs. Kerrigan apparently inherits this house, and it's in the opening sequence that she trips out, and I'm not going to get anything from this, and she's money hungry, obviously, and she throws the deed into the fire, and then Dibs sees it. It's like, wait, you threw it in there, and then they magically sees that there's treasure in this house. So now it's a goal to get something out of this house by finding the treasure, and she ultimately sacrifices herself because they don't know the combination to get in there. And she's like, oh, I'm a ghost, I can just go in there and get it. So yeah, we have that whole part of that, and we also have these little just comic parts of this movie. Like, we have when Kerrigan and Dibs are trying to like exorcise the spirits inside the house, they send like a priest in there, and he goes, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then he walks out of the house, and we have this whole spoof of like The Exorcist. His head's like backwards. And
piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
yeah. And then you have this other little comic moment where it's Ghostbusters, and Dan Aykroyd's in there, and he says, who you gonna call? Not us, or something like that. Somebody else. Yeah, it's funny. And we also have this other part that's so funny. When Bill Pullman's looking at himself in the mirror, he sees Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson, and then the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. I was dying laughing. So this movie is a joy. It's a treat.
It is. It's so fun. It's so much fun. It's perfect to watch with your family and your loved ones, or even by yourself. Honestly, it's really enjoyable. But yeah, Casper, all in all, love this. What did you think?
Casper's a 5. It checks all those boxes for me, at least. Also, there's some really good shots. I actually like the set design too in that house. The set design's great. The acting's flawless between Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman and the rest of the cast. CGI for the ghosts, I mean, for that time period, really well done. I mean, it actually sets the actual palette of and look of what Casper looks like. That's what Casper looks like, even from the old IPs of, Casper being Casper.
Yeah, and I think the CGI even like of the ghost still like holds up pretty well too. I also will give this movie a 5 out of 5. I think it's just such a great time, and so this is exactly like what I would want out of a movie like this. So like perfect, everything all around. It's Casper. He's the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know.
Yeah, yep. Except for his uncles. His uncles are dicks, like you said. It kind of you see that idea in the poster. Get an afterlife.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's literally to his uncles.
Yeah. So going forward, we have our fun facts about Casper. Casper, the friendly ghost. So this is the first feature film to have actually a fully computer generated visual effects character in a leading role.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
That is an awesome fact. The town of Friendship, Maine, is the name of a real village in mid-coast Maine, near Camden and Rockport, where scenes from the movie were filmed. During filming, Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci had to talk to tennis balls in place of the ghosts, while the ghosts were added later on, which is a very common practice now in film.
It's kind of like one of those adaptations for the green screen or whatever when you're doing CG and stuff like that.
When there's fully, computer animated characters in live action, they do this with the Avengers movies. They do this with all sorts of film, Lord of the Rings, etc. Well, Lord of the Rings had more practical than not, but yes, there are certain scenes. The house that was used for Whipstaff Manor was also used to film scenes from the Backstreet Boys music video, Everybody, yeah.
That's so funny.
Most notably is the ballroom dance sequence from the music video. So, yeah, that's awesome. Ooh, in the mirror scene, Dr. James Harvey was going to transform into Steven Spielberg. Spielberg filmed the cameo, but it was cut for pacing reasons. Spielberg was relieved, feeling he was a terrible actor. That's funny. Yeah, because I believe this is Amblin.
It is an Amblin Entertainment movie, so yeah.
That would have made sense. A musical scene titled Lucky Enough to Be a Ghost was scripted and filmed, where the three ghosts sang about their mental problems during a session with Dr. James Harvey. It was dropped because the already expense of visual effects would have cost an extra few $1 million. So, no musical number. Too much money. The breakfast scene was the first scene animated, which is why Casper and the ghostly trio appear more solid when compared to the rest of the movie. In addition, the pancakes Casper serves the Harveys were completely animated and not actually there on set.
Oh, that's interesting. They looked real for sure.
J.J. Abrams did an uncredited rewrite of the screenplay for this.
That's interesting.
That is. This is the second movie in which Christina Ricci is the love interest of Devon Sawa, who is Casper in human form. The other one is Now and Then in 1995.
Interesting.
And one more. A live-action sequel was proposed, and the preliminary script was drafted by Simon Wells when production wrapped. Unfortunately, Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman were attached to other projects, and Ricci's dislike of the movie and doing less kid movies, the producers decided to produce a cartoon series, The Spooktacular New Adventures of Casper, in 1996, and made a deal with the head of Fox Kids and on an animated spinoff and the day before the movie was released.
That's cool.
All right. Oh, I want to do one more. Sorry, one more. After watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1990 several times, executive producer Steven Spielberg approached its director, Steve Barron, to direct the film. However, Barron turned it down. He would later admit it was a mistake to turn the offer down.
Well, you don't really want to get, take an offer or get an offer from, I should say, get an offer from Spielberg and then just say, I don't want it.
Right? I would do anything. Okay. That is going to be it for our fun facts for Casper. Thank you so much for watching our episode today. And we will catch you on the next one. Be sure to follow us on all of our social. We have Instagram, TikTok, and you can go over to patreon.com/CalvinCam if you want to support us over there and join our community. That's hopefully growing. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, and we'll see you then.